Darling, I will be honest as I would be with a friend. I'm a bit annoyed with you. You keep procrastinating. You find other stuff to do instead of sitting down and typing up this letter. I understand that's a lot to do. You want to keep your business moving forward. You are a toddler mom and you have a busy traveling husband. But deep down, you know this letter brings another healing piece to the larger puzzle. Why don't you want to listen to the call? Be honest with me and yourself. Anyway, I'm glad you are finally here and taking the time. I'm happy to hear from you and I'm happy to see you. I know you are hurting and you are emotionally and physically exhausted. I know words don't come easily to you right now, but don't worry. Pause and breathe. That's what you say to your clients too. Tune in and words will flow. Trust yourself and trust the process. Shall we? Last year was a whirlwind, to say at the least. Your daughter turned 1 year old and you got sicker and sicker. It all started with a patch on your chin. Then your face turned red and you had your first reaction in February. And then more. You ended up in the ER and it wasn't your last visit that year. You stopped counting how many times you woke up with a puffed up face, almost shut eyes, cracked skin, and excruciating pain. You get steroids multiple times via IV or injection. You were poked more times than in the last 10 years. And then you started bouncing from one specialist to another, hoping that someone could give you a decent answer. Spoiler alert, they couldn't. You visited your GP multiple times and then 4 different dermatologists, 2 allergist immunologists, an endocrinologist, a gastroenterologist, a rheumatologist, and a cancer doctor. You are in Houston. You thought it would be easy to find the proper care, treatment, and most importantly, some kind of answers. You hate uncertainty so much. Who loves it? But when uncertainty is paired with pounding pain and discomfort, it gets frustrating. You were so angry, disappointed, discouraged, my love. You didn't even see. You couldn't see. You didn't have the time and the capacity. You kept moving and marching. As your friend said, you were just working through the whole experience as a warrior. You didn't want to, but the universe was thinking otherwise. Nobody knows what you were going through day by day. You were so desperate to heal and find answers. Many times you just wanted to break down, get drunk to forget, or crash on the sofa and binge watch some stupid movies and drift away from reality. But you knew better. You knew that that wouldn't be your solution. You hate quick fixes. And you hate that you know that band-aids on broken bones don't work. And you were not allowed to break down. You had a 1-year-old and your family needed you. You couldn't just give up. You needed to heal for yourself and for them. Your eyes had been infected and inflamed more times in a year than in your previous years of life together. Your eye doctor is a lovely person and she has tried to help you with all of your symptoms, giving tips on what else to test for. She's such a blessing. However, after the 5th visit, you were growing tired, just sitting there, and you just wanted to get out. Do you remember when you couldn't read for 2 weeks as your eyes were so blurry? You felt like you lost an arm, not being able to focus or read. Reading is so important for you, and you just couldn't do it because of the eye infection. You couldn't read anything. Everything was just blurry. The worst reaction occurred in April, and you were not pretty. And that's very politically correct to say about how you looked. You could scare people at Halloween without any costume or mask, like a horror movie. You couldn't see through your open eyes, your skin was burning, and you were so swollen. Even thinking back to those moments and looking at your photos hurts. People didn't recognize you. Your face was so distorted. You ended up in the ER again, and the next day, the nurses at the allergist doctor's office were so afraid that you couldn't breathe when they looked at you that they immediately took you in, even though they said no appointments were available for the next month or so. You went through tests after tests, answered the same stupid questions over and over again. If you had eaten shellfish the night before. You were 39 at that time. It wasn't like that. You knew that they had to ask you, but you were way over the let's change your laundry detergent or your shampoo runs. You know something deeper was not right, but they were the doctors. They are the doctors. They should know better. They should help you, but they couldn't. You spend so much time, energy, and money in doctors' offices to hear that, sorry, we cannot help you, or here's an injection, take it and it will get better. You spend the energy in wrong places and you are angry because you tried in the first place. You tried it for your husband and to prove something to your logical brain. Sweetheart, it's time to forgive yourself, trying to that route. Now you understand others more. That desperation to try as much as you did, it was not a failure, it was an experience. You have to practice what you preach. Writing this gives you shivers, I feel it. That's one of the signs your body gives when you are on the right track. Keep going, my love, you need this. And the stupid photos, you love traveling, but looking back on your last year photos, you see your face is all red. Your skin is so cracked and itchy, and your heart is broken. You try to smile, but behind your eyes, you are in tremendous physical and emotional pain. Your beautiful travel photos, the memories with your gorgeous daughter and your amazing husband, and you look like a lobster. It sounds silly, but I know those are important moments for you, the ones you felt missed and you couldn't fully embrace. You spent plenty of time in the bathroom applying cream to your face, which was cracked and peeling daily for months. Yes, your whole face and your facial skin peeled daily for months. And you didn't know when it would finally stop, so your skin would stay on for at least a day. You shouted so many times, "Stop," in the bathroom, but the next day it peeled again, and you had to clean your car again after all your flaky skin landed on the steering wheel and everywhere else in the car. You felt so disgusting, hopeless, and helpless. People tried to help, but after a while it was just too much for them to handle too. Life was going on, and you were in so much visible and invisible pain they didn't know what to do. How funny the universe is. Your friend, who is on the same spiritual level as you, stayed away from you for months. She traveled, you traveled, and there was no good time to catch up. It was a universally composed situation, but she didn't know how lonely you felt. You try to understand others and their whys, but sometimes you just wanted to scream, yell, and feel like a human who is allowed to be in pieces. Throughout your journey, you have tried various creams and lotions, hoping each one would alleviate the pain. But some beauty products have actually made it worse. You had to stick to Vaseline, as that was the only thing that didn't irritate your skin. Oh, and don't forget that you still wipe your face with alcohol to deal with the itching. Yeah, 72% or 91% alcohol. You got to used to the pain and burn because you know it makes it better afterward. At least for a while. You were so proud of your skin before last year happened, but now, sometimes you don't know who the person is on the other side of the mirror. Trust me, you will glow again. You will see your beautiful skin and face again. You feel that you are over the hump now, but you are still healing. Your neck and chin are still sensitive, and you still experience occasional itching, but nothing like last year and to the same extent as last year. All the healing you have done, all the holistic therapy sessions, cleaning your lineage, past lives, lots of struggle, poverty, and more struggles and poverty. You did it. It was essential to take a step forward to level up. And you started to heal when you chose alternative holistic healing methods and embarked on your spiritual awakening, as you call it now. Somebody told you a story about lobsters. Lobsters grow by a process called molting. During this process, a lobster will take in excess water, which pushes against the shell from the inside, causing it to split. The lobster then extracts itself as it sheds its outer shell and emerges with a new, soft shell as its exoskeleton. You were half-jokingly calling yourself a lobster last year. But after hearing this story, you realize why you felt like a lobster, apart from being so red. You had to go through a wide variety of emotions and finally feel them to grow into a larger skin. You needed to shed so many layers of emotional and physical pain so you can rise on the other side. I'm so dang proud of you. You haven't stopped and reflect. We have just been in a go mode. As you felt that the last year's might slow down, you lost momentum and time. So from January this year, you switched to a higher gear to catch up. You are not tired of last year's storm, but you are tired of this year's storm trying to catch up. Sweet one, you should know better. That's not how it works. You didn't lose anything. And I will tell you again to think. You didn't lose anything. It was a celestial plan from the beginning. You can breathe now. You can stop and rest. You can pause. Here comes another shiver. You have arrived at the top. But before you move to the next mountain, look around how far you have come. Look at the view. See, thank you all to that encountered on your way to the top. All the supporters, healers, and all who suggested otherwise and made you doubtful. You had to get stronger. It was a perfectly orchestrated plan, and I'm so glad to see it now. You are welcome. Welcome home. The universe has your back.